let's get right into it. So your app runs locally, but is it actually going to survive production? Honestly, that is the ultimate day 25 question for any developer. You've spent weeks building this beautiful, fully functional Express application, right? You've been testing it in the nice, quiet, safe parking lot of your local development environment. But what actually happens when you take that exact same app and merge it onto the highway during absolute rush hour? Are you really ready for real-world traffic? Welcome to This Explainer. I am super excited to guide you through this final, absolutely crucial phase of our journey. Today, we're laying out the definitive blueprint from code to cloud for your Node.js applications. We are officially wrapping up the production deployment and CI/CD module by making sure your Express app doesn't just, run, but actually thrives under pressure. Here is what we're looking at today. We'll start with the production reality check, move right into zero-downtime Docker deployments, tackle handling graceful node shutdowns, compare liveness versus readiness probes, dive into deep observability with OpenTelemetry, and finally, wrap up with achieving production readiness. Let's go ahead and clear these final hurdles together. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the production reality check, moving from the parking lot to the highway. Getting that shiny new public URL for your app is super exciting. But honestly, a URL alone just isn't enough. We really have to shift our mindset here from, hey, I made it work, to how do I keep this thing alive? Just look at the stark difference between standard local habits and actual production resilience. Take your database, for example. Using a default Postgres pool, totally fine locally. But under a massive traffic spike, it's going to completely exhaust your database connections. In production, you absolutely need proxy-level pooling like PG Bouncer to protect that database. It's the same story with managing secrets. Relying on hard-coded files or .env files is a massive security vulnerability. True production readiness means runtime secret injection that is completely decoupled from your codebase. It's these specific optimized practices that actually stop your app from crashing under real-world load. Moving on to Section 2, zero-downtime Docker deployments, building and rolling out safely. Okay, so deploying a single-stage Docker file is, without a doubt, a fatal mistake in production. You've got to use multi-stage builds. Why? Because in that final stage, you execute npm ci-omit equals dev. This strips out literally all of your development dependencies. Not only does this massively reduce your final production image size, but it dramatically shrinks your CVE, or Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures, surface area. Think about it. You can't be hacked through a vulnerability in some random dev tool if that tool isn't even in your production container in the first place. Plus, multi-stage layer caching means your builds are going to run a lot faster. And beyond just the build, how that container gets deployed matters immensely. Secure CI/CD pipelines today use OIDC, that stands for OpenID Connect, for authentication. Doing this totally eliminates that outdated, highly dangerous practice of storing long-lived AWS credentials directly in your GitHub repository. Modern, zero-downtime rollouts rely entirely on temporary, auto-expiring credentials to drastically reduce your risk exposure. Now, the crucial piece of the puzzle for versioning those deployments is SHA-based tagging. You should always tag your container images using the first 7 characters of the commit hash. Relying on that default latest tag, super dangerous because it's mutable, it changes. Immutable SHA-based image versioning guarantees exact version tracking. That means if a deployment unexpectedly fails, you have a completely reliable instant rollback path ready to go. Let's move right along to Section 3. Handling graceful node shutdowns, surviving scaling events. I really want to emphasize the high stakes here. The fatal mistake so many developers make is just skipping graceful shutdowns altogether. Look, when cloud platforms like Render or AWS ECS deploy a new version or scale down your app, they send a SIGTERM or signal to your node process. If your app just ignores this signal, the platform eventually just cuts the cord. Hard. This abruptly severs active database connections, drops users right in the middle of a checkout, and can easily corrupt your in-flight data. To prevent that absolute disaster, you have to implement this vital sequence. First, listen for that termination signal and immediately stop accepting new connections using server.closing. Second, you've got to give those existing in-flight requests the time they actually need to finish their work. Third, safely close your database and external service connections. And then finally, step 4, exit the node process cleanly. Pulling off this elegant, step-by-step shutdown is truly the hallmark of a professional. All right, Section 4, Liveness versus Readiness probes, smart health checks. Understanding the exact difference between these two probes clears up an absolute necessity for production systems. You really cannot rely on just one single generic health check. A liveness probe should be incredibly lightweight. It confirms only that the Node.js process itself is actually running. It is entirely process scoped. A readiness probe, on the other hand, goes deep. It verifies the application's actual ability to handle real traffic, which means checking if it can successfully talk to your database, your cache, the whole shebang. And this brings us to a major lightbulb moment. If you check your database health inside your liveness probe, you are accidentally weaponizing minor network hiccups against your own server. Just think about it. If your database becomes unreachable for just a fraction of a second, that liveness probe fails. The platform immediately thinks your node process is dead, so it forcibly kills and restarts your perfectly healthy app instance. You've basically just turned a tiny database blip into a full-blown application outage and absolutely guaranteed yourself a miserable 3 a.m. PagerDuty alert. Please separate your probes. Number 5, deep observability with OpenTelemetry, tracing the unknown. You're going to hear this dense buzzword a lot, so let's break it down clearly. OpenTelemetry, or OTel for short, is the open standard for distributed tracing. It's basically a tool that lets you track a single user request as it travels across your load balancers, your Express APIs, your microservices, and your databases. It's like a GPS tracker for your data. The key takeaway here is that instrumenting your Node.js application early with the OTel SDK is infinitely easier than trying to retrofit it while you're panicking during an active production crisis. And when you are actively observing your app, poor memory management is usually your biggest enemy. To isolate those tricky memory issues, you can broadly track process.memory usage in production to watch heap used for standard JavaScript memory bloat. You can track RSS, the resident set size, for your total process allocation. And crucially, you can monitor external and array buffers to catch those sneaky memory leaks that stem from C++ bindings or raw binary data parsing. Having these specific metrics means you aren't just guessing when your server suddenly slows down. You know exactly where to look. Finally, Section 6, Achieving Production Readiness, the final checklist. I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. A public URL doesn't indicate production readiness. True reliability requires zero-downtime rollouts and deep observability. You have done the hard work here. You've mastered graceful shutdowns, you've separated your health probes, you've optimized your Docker builds, and you've instrumented your code. Huge congratulations on mastering these advanced techniques. You are no longer just building apps, you are engineering resilient systems that are fully ready to graduate to the real world. So the only question left is, what are you going to build and deploy next?